Hey, it's time. It's time.
Let's go.
We about to see what all that is about. All that talking, all they this, all they that. They done played a lot of people, but they ain't played us. We about to see what it's all about, because we with all the smoke. We with all the smoke. Offense, go put up buckets. Let's get points. Defense, let's take the ball away. Hey, we ain't got to do nothing special. Let's just go be us. Let's go get this dub. Here we go, baby. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
And that was the last time a single member of the Carolina Panthers defense was seen today. I don't tell you, I got no time for an intro. The Carolina Panthers just got beat to sleep. Ain't nobody, we ain't stopping nowhere for dinner. I don't care what you want. I don't care how hungry you are. We do not get beat by 137 points and then stop this bus to go eat somewhere. I hope you packed a lunch. Matter of fact, I hope you, well, how much the buses cost cross country? We are not wasting the money it would take to fuel the jet to get us from San Francisco to Charlotte, Mecklenburg. I don't care what it is. You better pack your, I don't know, man. Don't a single player. You know what? Christian McCaffrey, hop on the plane. Luke, you got tenure. You gotta pick, bro. Hop on the plane. Every single other member of the defense, find your way back home. Every single member of the offensive line, find your way back home. Kyle Allen, you a backup. There was a lot of talk going to this game right now, and I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a big part of it. I said a lot of things, made a lot of statements, made a lot of promises that I can't take back. What am I going to say now? Well, 13-51. We let a team put up a 50 burger. It's hard to say. I mean, after last year's game against the Steelers, it's very, very hard to know what to say when it happens 2 years in a row. This is actually the second most amount of points that we've allowed under Coach Rivera, and the most we've allowed was just last year in that Steelers game. 52 points. This one's 51. We had 48 against the Falcons 3 years ago. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I said before the game, I said, look, the only way you're going to beat these Niners is to make Jimmy Garoppolo be a quarterback. And sadly enough, we have a really good defense, but our defense is only really made for passing offenses. We were number 2 in interceptions and number 1 in sacks, but it's really hard to get sacks and interceptions when the opposing quarterback is throwing 22 times for 175 yards. And also, when just about every member of their team can get yards on the ground whenever they want. Tevin Coleman, 3 touchdowns. This man was dancing. I don't know, what do you want to say? Tevin Coleman destroyed the whole defense. We were terrible. We've been terrible against the run all year, but it ain't been this bad. It has not been this bad. 191 yards on the ground. What do you say to your team when they give up almost 200 yards on the ground? Tevin Coleman only had 105 himself. Then it was Mostert, who had 60. Matt Breida had 35. I mean, dudes who haven't even produced one time. Not a single time has Deebo Samuel looked even decent this whole year. He had 29 yards on the ground on 2 rushes. I mean, what do you do when that happens? The quarterback only throws for 175 yards, and you still get beat by what, 30? More than that. 38 points. 38 points. Now, I did say in my preview it would be a low-scoring game. I was half right. We only scored 13. Luckily. Christian McCaffrey did his thing. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, there is no matchup that's bad for him. And it wasn't like it was even on crazy heavy volume. It was 117 yards on 14 carries. He looked like the only player who came to play. After having some questions about left tackle, we started the game off with Taylor Moton at left tackle and Darrell Williams at right tackle. That ain't work. So we put Dennis Daly back at left tackle and put Taylor Moton back at right tackle where he belongs. I ain't gonna lie to you. It didn't really matter. We were getting gassed. I mean, there were sacks everywhere. I think it was 7 sacks on the day. It felt like every single offensive play that we ran was just sniffed out almost immediately by these Niners. There was a sequence where on one play, Richard Sherman had an interception just tip off his hands. It was his, and he just let it go, and it was kind of bad. Then the very next play, he gets a pick. I mean, it's like They have the script for us, and it was just easy. I mean, they game planned for Kyle Allen extremely well. They could not stop Christian McCaffrey, but you don't really have to stop Christian McCaffrey when the defense is giving up points, because you really can't run when you're down by 30. When you're down 20 very, very early, you can't run the ball. You have to pass. You're not going to get points in a hurry throwing screens, throwing these slants, throwing to Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. There was not very much positive to take out of this game, and I'll get to the defense here in a second because I want to touch on the defense a little bit more, but I don't want to beat up on the offense. We faced a superior defense that our offense was not ready for. Our offense is not built to score a massive amount of points against running teams. It's just what it is. But, I mean, could we at least not muff kickoffs and punt returns? I mean, we have Brandon Zylstra, a newer guy that we signed around the time the 53-man roster had to come out. He muffed a kick. Then we saw Reggie Bonneford muff one as well. It felt like whatever could go wrong in this game did go wrong. And what really happened was we ran into a team whose scheme is built perfectly to beat us. A running team on offense that doesn't really pass that much. When they do pass, it's a lot of safer passes to the tight end, kind of shorter passes, and a really good defense. Our defense is not really made to stop the run. We are built to stop the pass. We are built to get to the quarterback quickly and then use that to force fast throws and use our secondary, who they're pretty good. Secondary is pretty good. They get interceptions. They get passes deflected, passes defended. They're a really good secondary. But we're not really built to stop runners. There's a few guys on our team who don't really have the best technique when tackling. A lot of guys who leave with the shoulder and try to go low. Not very many dudes who wrap up. Shaq and Luke wrap up. But for the most part, a lot of the guys in our secondary do not wrap up. And a lot of the times we try to do some arm tackling up in the front four. It gets really, really ugly when we go against volume runners. But that's really no excuse for this score. A 38-point loss. You really can't put that on just the scheming. We did face the perfect team to beat our defense. But could our offense do something? Anything? And yes, there were 7 sacks. But if you watch the game, you know those sacks weren't always all on the offensive line. There were some bad protection there, some misassignments. When you're going up against a Bosa, whether it's Nick or Joey, it doesn't matter which one. It's going to be a tough time. But there were plenty of plays where we had sacks or just hits on the quarterback where the passes just weren't really good, where Kyle Allen had plenty of time to make a pass or to get out of the pocket and throw the ball away and not take a sack or not get picked off. From what I saw, a good chunk of those plays were covered sacks where there was just nothing open downfield. The corners and safeties had everything bagged up, and Kyle Allen was holding the ball. You can't just sit there and wait and pat the ball when you have the kind of front seven that the 49ers do coming at you. You have to make quick decisions. Don't let this game get you crazy and reactionary and all this kind of stuff. This game was a bad game by Kyle Allen, but we do not need to rush Cam Newton back because Cam is obviously not 100% yet. Think about it. We play the Tennessee Titans next, led by Ryan Tannehill, with a much worse offense and a much worse defense than the Niners. We do not need Cam Newton to win that game. I promise you. I promise you we don't need Cam to win that game, and it makes no sense to rush him back. I mean, unless you guys want to rush him back. We saw what rushing Cam back when he wasn't 100% did last year and the year before. We've seen what rushing Cam back does. Kyle Allen can win this next game, and we can go on from there. If Cam's good in 2 weeks, we can see how it looks then. But as of right now, I'm cool on it. We can beat the Titans with Kyle Allen, with this defense, with this offense. We just couldn't beat the Niners because the Niners are built to beat us. Simple as that. I think on some level we kind of wrote them off because they didn't play anybody. And it's true. I mean, of the first 6 games that the Niners played, the combined record of those 6 teams was 9-25. 9-25. 2 of those teams combined have 1 win. The Bengals and the Redskins. So there was some question as to just how real the Niners were. They played a bunch of bums. The best team they played was the Rams, and the Rams really aren't that good. They beat us, but we had a lot of chances to win that game. They wanted to give that game to us. The Rams weren't a good team early on. I'm not going to lie to you. There wasn't very much in this game that is very noteworthy. No, a lot is noteworthy. A whole lot's noteworthy. But not a lot of it's positive. In fact, I go so far as to say that the only thing that's positive in this game was Christian McCaffrey, Luke Kuechly. I mean, Joey Slye, he got his field goal in. I thought that the win would have a much bigger impact on the game, and to some extent it kind of did. I mean, we didn't see too many passes. Kyle did almost throw 40 passes, but he was just over 50%. He did not even get over 160 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, as opposed to Jimmy Garoppolo's 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and that pick came early, and we only got 3 points out of it. This game was over early. This game was over in the first quarter. There was a small window in the second half where we thought, okay, maybe we can get this back. We have 13 points. We're only like, I think it was 13-27. We're like, okay, yeah, we can go ahead and bring this game back around. 2 possessions, but we can make things work. And things ain't work out. Things did not work out. At least we looked good wearing our throwback. Like, I think it was the 96 jerseys with the black and the silver pants. Or they're more like the gray pants. They weren't the silver pants. Those are kind of cool, I guess. But there really wasn't much to talk about positively. I mean, I'm glad that Bruce Irvin got a sack safety. Those were points. Those were points. But other than that, there just wasn't really much to speak on. We got beat to sleep. What else can you say? It's like if you had a sibling growing up. Have you ever gotten in trouble and your parents just believed everything your older sibling said and they could just get you deeper and deeper into the hole? That's what happened. We got big bro today. We got big bro'd by the 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers, led by a quarterback who only had 175 yards. This is worse than getting beat by Mitch Trubisky 2 years ago, where he went 4 for 7. Dude went 4 for 7, and we still lost to the Bears. This was a bad game. It sucks to have to watch your team get 50 points put on them for the second year in a row in a game that should have been competitive. In a game that really should have been competitive. But there's always next week. We're only 4-3. We're good. We're good to go, man. We can win these games coming up. But if we want to get to the playoffs, we really can't lose too many games because the NFC race to the playoffs is going to be tight. That 6th spot, that second wild card spot, is going to require 10 wins. Barring injury, you're going to have to win 11 games to get the 6th seed in the NFC. Simple as that. I mean, got beat to sleep. Don't rush Cam back. Got to win games. You can't lose games like to the Titans. You can't lose games to the Redskins. You can't lose these games. You can't lose a game to the Colts. Got to win the games you can win. You're supposed to win. You can't get beat in these bigger games against better teams. Well, at least better than the lower tier teams. You have to play up to your competition, or at least play up to what your skill level is, which might be better than your competition. It's just that this game, the Niners were just the perfect team to beat us. The way their offenses run, it was just the best. They had the best team to beat us. Simple as that. Either way, man, that's all I got for you for right now. I'm sure I'll touch on this game a little bit more later on in the week. I'm kind of calm right now, but I promise you, watching the game, if you follow me on Twitter, you saw it. I don't want to get too worked up right now, so I'm going to get back to y'all tomorrow in another video, man. But for right now, let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. I know you got some thoughts for me. Let me know, man. And for the Niners fans, it is what it is. All right, y'all. Hey, like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. There's ways to support the channel in the description below. And as always, you already know what to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.